have a real problem in the White House. So I believe that he will attack Iran sometime prior to the election because he thinks that's the only way he can get elected. Isn't it pathetic?
What the hell did you just say?
Man, this is some bullshit. Boo this man.
Life is putting the Prozac to the test.
Our president will start a war with Iran.
Oh, snap.
Because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. We have a real problem in the White House. So I believe that he will attack Iran sometime prior to the election.
That's bullshit.
Because he thinks that's the only way he can get elected.
Do you ever think it might have occurred to him that right before an election that he was going to have to run in, that just maybe, well, just maybe, he would be attacking Iran? Oh!
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the?
Isn't it pathetic? Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. We have a real problem in the White House.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. May God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, I guess one of the drawbacks of this having to standing in opposition against this Bolshevik president, and I'll share an article with you too that defines, it explains on how Trump is a neo-Bolshevik, essentially. But what really grinds my gears is that what is our option? Well, not my option, because I pretty much have given up on government. Government is a mind control cult as far as I'm concerned. But what's our options? A Democrat. Well, he is a New York City liberal, and he fooled a lot of people. It is what it is. Maybe if we get a Democrat president, maybe people will be pissed off enough to do something about it, like we were doing right before Trump won. Now, that's a few words from Chris Switzer, my second in command, my right-hand man. I'd like to thank him for joining the team. A few words from him about something I think is very important people should know about.
Hey guys, Chris Switzer here, the Freedom Ministry with RTR Truth Media. So apparently the U.S. Department of Defense has announced that they did pick a winner for the Jedi Cloud contract, and it did not go to Amazon like I thought it would. It went to the only other entity it could have went to, and that was Microsoft. Microsoft Azure will literally own the cloud, the war cloud, the everything, I'm telling you. So, yeah, Microsoft, Israeli teams own Microsoft, just like they own Amazon, just like they own Intel, just like they own Qualcomm, just like they own Samsung, just like they own everything. All right? Israel is the startup nation. It is Soviet-Israeli teams, Soviet active measures, and the Jedi War Cloud is very, very important. It's a big deal. I've been following it, and a few others have. Jack Dumpy, a couple others. So I appreciate those of you who have been following this. And like Erica with the Citizens Reporter, she's followed it as well. Brendan O'Connell followed it. I don't know where he is today. But in the very beginning, even years ago, uncovering Talpiot, IDF, Unit 8200, Technion, IDC Herzliya, Sheldon Adelson, all that shit. Chabad Lubavitch. But, yeah. Jedi War Cloud contract has gone to Microsoft. Has gone to Israeli teams. Now, we're just going to see who Dios is going to be bid to. And I bet that's going to also go to Microsoft. Like I said, I already said that would go to Microsoft because of their 360 program, or 365, whatever it is. You know, that already envelops everything that the Pentagon's already using, and the State Department and Justice. I mean, Microsoft owns everything.
I am learning every single day the depth of the cult of personality and the subsequent irrationality of those who subscribe to that as a cult member. If you're a card-carrying member of the cult of personality, guys, this channel is not for you. It is not for you. My goal on this channel is just to proclaim truth. And if in my proclaiming truth I make a mistake, I expect to receive criticism and correction. That's how life works. If you work against the principles of liberty, if you work against other individuals, if you work against natural law or God's law or whatever you want to call it, expect to receive the consequences for that. I don't know how many times I've talked about the cult of personality and cognitive dissonance and the fact that we need to stay on track and reject things that come against the truth. Let me give you an example. People say, yeah, I'm a patriot. I know what the Second Amendment says, and I will defend it to the death. What does the Second Amendment say? What does it say? I bet if you went out on the street and you interviewed people, they know kind of what it says. Look, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. If anyone in any political party, I don't care if it's Democrat, Republican, Independent, I don't care who it is, if they come against, shall not be infringed. In other words, if they jeopardize your inherent right to keep and bear arms, to protect yourself, to protect your family, to go hunting, whatever you want to do with it. Doesn't matter. It's not anybody's business. Well, why do you need an AR-15? Why do you need a 30-round magazine that they call clip? Everybody's still calling them clips. What's up with that? It's not a clip. It's a magazine. A clip loads a magazine. You empty the clip into the magazine goes in the gun, the bullets come out of the magazine and into the gun. That's how it works. If anybody comes against the right of people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Anybody, they are your enemy, and that's all you need. But the economy's going great. Look, black unemployment is down, Hispanic is down. But what about shall not be infringed?
Just putting my 2 cents in here, because if you're willing to look past shall not be infringed because the economy is doing good or for whatever reason, man, that love of money has you really screwed up. You become a prostitute for the political process.
What about that? If somebody's going to infringe on your right to keep and bear arms, they are your enemy. How hard is that? You didn't have any problem going against Obama or Hillary or Bill Clinton or Ronald Reagan. He's the guy that first came up with the assault weapons ban. Anybody who thinks they can come in and proclaim that they have a higher claim over your life and property than you to the tune of they shall infringe and go against shall not be infringed is your enemy. Hillary Clinton was your enemy because of it. Richard Nixon was your enemy because of it. Ronald Reagan was your enemy because of it. And anybody who comes along after them will be your enemy because of it. And now Trump is your enemy because of it. But because people are so checked in to the cult of personality and checked out of critical thinking, they just, oh, well, it's Donald Trump. Well, oh, in that case, like before Trump enters through, it's like, yeah, shall not be infringed. I'll die for those rights. You don't have any right. It shall not be infringed. You don't take our guns. Oh, Donald Trump said, red flag laws, the extreme risk protection orders, that if somebody saw you in a freaking grocery store with the sidearm on and they followed you home to find out where you live, they can literally make, under the extreme risk protection order, the red flag laws that Trump endorses, they can make a phone call to authorities, not using 911, and the authorities, the police can get a warrant to search your house against your Fourth Amendment rights, trample on your Second Amendment rights, take all your guns from you, put you under a psychological evaluation, not give your guns back for a year if they ever give them back. Trump is for that. And you're for Trump? Seriously? I mean, I don't even have to talk about international Zionism. I don't have to talk about the fact that Steve Mnuchin is the Treasury Secretary. Why would you put a Goldman Sachs international banker in as the Treasury Secretary? Why would you put anybody who's a warmonger in any position? Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo. And then you got Bolton, The National Security Advisor just frothing at the mouth for war. Oh, but I'm a patriot. I'm for this country. I'm for America. If you're for America, you're for the Second Amendment. Period. If anybody goes against that Second Amendment, then you as an American are against that person. How hard is that?
Now, I'm going to close this out with a clip that some of you, I'm sure, have seen before, but this is an explanation of what active measures are, what you're seeing going on around you. It might make some sense. From a KGB defector, Yuri Bezmenov.
Change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The result you can see, most of the people who graduated in the 60s, dropouts or half-baked intellectuals, are now occupying the positions of power in the government, civil service, business, mass media, educational system. You are stuck with them. You cannot get rid of them. They are contaminated. They are programmed to think and react to certain stimuli in a certain pattern. You cannot change their mind, even if you expose them to authentic information, even if you prove that white is white and black is black. You still cannot change the basic perception and the logic of behavior. In other words, these people, the process of demoralization is complete and irreversible. To get rid of society of these people, you need another 20 or 15 years to educate a new generation of patriotically minded and common sense people who would be acting in favor and in the interests of the United States society.
Have you ever wondered why the government does the things that it does, so seemingly like nonsensical, because it just doesn't make sense? I know that there's some of you